In the ancient text of India, it is called Axis Mundi, the center of the universe, the place where heaven meets earth. For thousands of years, we have worshipped Mount Kailash as a home of Lord Shiva. We are told it is a place of peace. But if you dig deeper, you will find that Kailash is not just holy, it is absolutely dangerous. There are stories here that guidebooks won't tell you. Stories of people aging decades in just few hours. Stories of secret underground cities and a gateway that judges whether you live or die. Russian scientists have studied it. NASA has looked at it from the space, and what they have found is even stranger than legends. So let's uncover 5 dark secrets of Kailash Parvat that science is still trying to explain. The mystery begins even before you start the climb. Because at the base of the mountain there is a small stone archway called Yama Dwar. In Hindi, Yama is the god of death and Dwar means gate. This is literally the gateway of Lord of Death. According to Tibetan folklores, this is a spiritual checkpoint. You don't just walk it through with your legs, you walk it through with your soul. And according to the folklore, every person who enters Yama has an eye for him. If you're carrying a major secret or a major sin that you haven't reported for, you will not pass. As people pass through this gate, they have reported hearing voices. Some have reported shadows, and some even have reported that they have felt an invisible force pushing them down on the ground. Is this Yama doing his job? Now, scientists have a very different explanation for the fear people feel here. It is called cerebral edema. At this altitude, the air is so thin that your brain swells due to lack of oxygen. And this causes extreme paranoia. You start hearing voices. You feel like someone is walking behind you. So, truly, is it the god of death judging us? Or is it our own brain playing tricks on us? Hallucination alone cannot explain this next mystery. This is the most disturbing phenomena on Kailash. Time travel. Many pilgrims have reported a strange physical change. They say that after spending just 12 hours near the mountain, their hairs and nails grew as much as they would in 2 whole weeks. It is as if the time near the mountain moves faster than the time in the rest of the world. There is a dark legend about a group of Siberian climbers in early 20th century. They wanted to go beyond the allowed point. They wanted to explore the forbidden face of the mountain. According to this story, as they started to climb, they suddenly realized that they were aging rapidly. Their skin started to wrinkle. They became weak. Terrified, they ran back down. But the damage was already done. According to this story, all of them died of an old age within the single year. Okay, what is happening here? A Russian scientist named Nikolai Kozyrev had a theory. According to this theory, certain shapes like spirals and concave mirrors can actually bend time and energy. Some researchers think that the unique and concave shape of the Mount Kailash actually acts as a time mirror, focusing energy of the universe onto one spot, speeding up the biological processes which may have caused rapid aging of those Siberian climbers. Biologists disagree. They say that it's just your body reacting to the extreme stress. The harsh wind and the sun dry out your skin, making it shrink, which reveals more of your nails and hair. You're not aging, you're just withering away. But looking at the physical evidence, you have to ask yourself, is it just the biology playing a trick? Or is it the mountain demanding a tax on your life force for coming this close. If you look at the south face of Mount Kailash, you will see a massive vertical line cutting through the rock. It almost looks like a giant ladder. Hindu devotees call it stairway to the heaven. But there is a Tibetan legend which calls it a battle scar. According to this legend, centuries ago, a Buddhist yogi named Milarepa and a born sorcerer named Naro Bonchung fought a duel here. They were fighting to decide who owns this mountain. The sorcerer used magic drum to fly to the top and attack. But Milarepa used power of his mind to fight back. The battle was so violent that it cracked the mountain in half, leaving his permanent scar. Now, geologists have a different theory. They call it sedimentary fault line. They say that millions of years ago, the rock shifted and cracked. The horizontal layers are layers of ice and rock, and the fault line is where the mountain split. But looking at it, this seems too perfect and too straight to be a nature's accident. Okay, this brings us to the biggest question. Is Kailash even a mountain? In 1999, Dr. Ernst Muldashev, a Russian eye surgeon and an explorer, led an expedition here. But he came back with a very shocking claim. He said that Kailash is not natural. It's a man-made pyramid. He pointed out that the four sides of the mountain aligns almost perfectly with the four sides of the compass: north, east, west, and south. Nature rarely creates such a perfect shape. He also claimed that the mountain is hollow from inside, and there is a secret city underground called City of Gold, built by ancient civilization thousands of years ago to control the energy of the earth. Okay, mainstream science calls it a glacial horn. A glacial horn is when the glaciers cut the rock away for millions of years, creating such a perfect shape. We see this in similar situations in Alp mountain ranges. But one peculiar fact remains unsolved. There is a magnetic anomaly reported by pilots when the pilots fly near the mountain, and we don't know why. Humans have conquered Moon. We have climbed Mount Everest thousands of times, but no human feet has ever stood on the summit of Mount Kailash. It is 2000 meters lower than Everest. It should be easy, but it remains unclimbed. In early 1980s, the great mountain climber Reinhold Messner was offered a permit to climb, but he refused. He said, if we conquer this mountain, then we conquer something in people's soul, and he just didn't want to do it. Now there are stories of other teams who have tried and disappeared, or the stories where teams have lost their way because the weather changed instantly, as if the mountain was pushing them back. So in 2001, Chinese government officially banned climbing on the Kailash. They cited religious reasons, but many believe it was to protect us from what could be up there. Maybe science is right. Maybe it's just ice, rock, and wind. Or maybe the legends are warning. Maybe Kailash is a remnant of something far older and more powerful than we understand. A place where time bends and where God still watches. What do you think? Is it a natural wonder or an ancient machine? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to explore more shadows of history, then subscribe to this channel. Until next time, stay curious.